Welcome back to the Tul World podcast. I'm your host, David Ju, and I'm here with Master Ju today.
How's it going there, Mr. Ju?
It's going okay.
Just go okay again?
Yes, just okay again.
Last week was okay, this week's okay.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so last week we kind of talked a little bit about
Side blocks.
side blocks.
That's right.
And we had kind of hinted about knife hand versus outer form,
Right.
etc. So I thought we'd talk a little bit about why do we do one or the other? Is there any difference, right? Actually, I think that's the biggest question is, if you had a low side block with the outer form, someone says that's just blocking. But if they do it with the knife hand, some people might say that's breaking because in the encyclopedia, knife hand's used for breaking. And so what are your thoughts on that?
Well, does it actually say breaking?
I think it does. I think for like hand techniques.
Hand techniques
'Cause you
used
have-
for
yeah, punching
breaking versus
is punching, which
but knife
is-
hand is also used maybe to set up for like a grabbing
Right, that's
block,
another
right?
thought here. But let's just start with that, right? Because in the attacks, you have punching, which is full twist,
Of the attacking tool,
internal damage.
right?
You have striking, which is minimal twist,
Like breaking,
and then you have
thrusting.
thrusting, which is no twisting, which is reaching the intersection. And so I think people kind of take that logic to blocking as well. Is that right? Is that wrong?
Well, first of all, I would definitely say techniques should be executed with full speed and full power. And whether we consider that breaking or not breaking, in theory, if I'm going to block with an outer forearm and if I'm hitting like an arm, can I break the arm? If I do it with full power, I think it's possible, right? And that's the same with the knife hand.
Yeah.
Whether I use the knife hand or the outer forearm. I mean, look at, when we think of breaking, we always kind of think of breaking basically like on a board or something, maybe tiles or whatever the breaking material is. And so breaking like a board with the outer forearm just doesn't work because you're distributing all of the force across the forearm. But when you use a knife hand, you're concentrated on the striking tool, which is the knife hand.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, that makes sense. But if I had, you ever see anyone break a bat with their forearm? Well, maybe
I've seen someone actually break it with their shin.
their shin.
Yeah.
Sure, absolutely. So, but you could, like even a pole, you could break with the outer forearm.
Right, that's true.
So, what does the term breaking mean? And depending on the material, yes and no, right? Outer forearm on boards, probably not.
Yeah.
Right? If you hit the edge, maybe it might break your arm. I don't know.
Right.
Knife hand for sure. So the block in itself is still got to be executed like you want to break, whether it's an outer forearm or a knife hand. Okay? So I think sometimes, though, I think people try to explain that I can break. Well, let's take a look at low side blocks because that's where I think some of the debate is, where how you execute that.
Yeah.
And that's a technique that's coming towards you. I think that when I use the knife hand, if you look at the position of the hand, again, going back to the low side block with the outer forearm versus knife hand, the arm is bent 25 degrees with the outer forearm, and it's parallel to the thigh. The knife hand is bent 15 degrees, not a lot, and the hand is open. And so you can see that the blocking tool is slightly different. The tack is a little bit lower for a knife hand, actually. So I see it as more of a reach than I see it as a different way of hurting somebody or breaking something.
Right.
I see knife hands really more for like reach, preparation for maybe a grab. So is the technique executed differently than an outer forearm? And I say that the kick is still coming up,
Yeah.
that it's not executed any differently. I still need to intercept it. So should I have the hands lower and then execute the technique and block it versus maybe where the intermediate hand position might be a little bit higher around the shoulder level? And I think that all techniques basically start really from around the shoulder level, not higher, not lower, not to the belt level, because that's where, when I think of self-defense, that's where my hands should be, is more in that shoulder level.
Right.
I don't really want to shoot punches from my belt. And people, you see this in real life as well.
Yeah.
People are arguing with someone that has a knife and their hands are down. Well, that's not too smart,
Right.
especially because if that guy swings that knife at you, you can't get that hand up fast enough to block it.
Right.
Right? So the hands have to be up. You might not still be able to block it, but you have a better chance at it.
Yeah.
And so I think that really intermediate hand positions, if you look at it, is really around the shoulder area.
Yeah.
And so here I am, I'm blocking, I'm using an outer form, so it's, a shoulder line. Now, oh wait, I'm going to use a knife hand, so I'm going to drop it down and then use the intermediate hand. It doesn't make sense to me. And even if you look at the encyclopedia, it still shows that the hand is relatively around the shoulder line area. So the hands are up and then it's executed.
Right.
So I see it more as an extension. It's a lower technique than with the knife hand versus the outer form.
How about the thought that knife hand is in preparation for grabbing? Not that you always grab, but it could be.
Yeah, that's kind of like hooking blocks. So you block with the knife hand and you grab. But that's actually a grasping block.
Right.
Right.
But
So you
it
do a
is
knife
ready there.
Ready for it.
Is that correct, not correct?
Yeah, I think that it's possible. I mean, if you block with the outer form and you're holding it there and you have an opportunity to open your hand and grab it, you could do it. Knife hand, same thing. You block with the knife hand and you have a second or a moment, then you can grab it. That's assuming that you didn't block it so hard that it bounced out of your way.
Yeah, that's true
Right.
too.
So when you talk about real life application, how does that work? So that's a really good point. So for instance, if we talk about wedging block in Do-san, you hold the hand out there. Why do you hold the hand out there? If you blocked it and his arms flew open, because let's say it was trying to grab you or twin vertical and it flew open, why do I need to hold it there?
That's assuming that the hands flew open though.
That's right. So really what you want to do is you're blocked it and you're preventing it from actually coming in anymore. So you got to hold it there and then you execute a kick. So we don't have that reaction hand really on that particular technique.
Yeah.
And that would be also the case with if I block with a knife hand, let's say a knife hand guarding block, would I just hold it there and then execute, let's say, a kick? Well, maybe it just depends on what's happening, right? If I blocked it super hard and the arm flew out that way, I don't know if you need to,
Yeah.
right? But let's say he had a knife. Well, that might be a little bit different story because I blocked a knife. If I hit it hard enough, do I want to drop my hand down because it might come back? I might want to keep it up.
You might want to hold it out.
You want to hold it up there. So I think different applications, different reason why you would have it out there. And I kind of do think that if I'm dealing with maybe a knife and I want to control it, then I would block, but I wouldn't give it that snapping block. I would block, but not with that, full power breaking block. It's block so that my hand is there, so it's controlling the attack. And then, because my hands are open, I could grab it.
Right. All right, let us know your thoughts on knife hand versus outer form and the purposes for it. Don't forget that we have a Tul World Summit coming up soon. You guys can register for it on our website at juicetkd.com.
And it is going to be virtual as well as in-house. So we'll have some people coming in. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, so if you want to come out to California,
you could do that
and do some training with us, I think it's going to be a fun weekend.
It will be.
So make sure to sign up for that. Share this podcast, and as always, don't forget to be safe.
Keep training.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Taekwon.